Hello you guys, we're here at Evergreen Exotics. We're getting ready to do this video. An update for you about Jafar. Let's go inside and see what we got going on. You know, get ready. Here's the update. Hello everyone. I'm back with Dr. Paulette. We're here to talk about Jafar's update. But first, we want to wish the condolences to the family of Brian Barczyk. We know that he passed away with pancreatic cancer. You know, Jafar did come from Brian Barczyk zoo and everything, his reptile zoo. So we just want to wish the best to the family and everything. And that his son will keep on going with his father's legacy and his wife will keep the business going. So now we're going to get into talking about Jafar and how Jafar is doing. Last time we talked about Jafar, he was not looking good.
No, I felt like we were in the pits at that time.
Yeah.
So I guess should we just give the update of where he's at?
Yeah, good. I mean, we can tell what we all done, you know, with the withdrawing stuff from him, the blood and everything.
So basically, maybe about 2 months ago now, a little over 2 months ago, we tested his blood because we knew that he just wasn't progressing as he should. He was still kind of very small. He still doesn't want to eat on his own, but we didn't know what that was from. Tested his blood. White blood cells were okay, but his hematocrit, red blood cells, was really, really low. It was quite scary. And I know we were talking about, like, if we don't get this back up in a timely manner, do we need to get a blood transfusion? But luckily, you rocked it. You were able to start him on injectable antibiotics, given every 3 days, and we continued to feed him. We knocked him down from back to whole prey, back to liquid diets, just for him to easily absorb all the nutrients he can. And we did that for about a month. And we retested his blood about 2 months later, or 1 month later.
I think it was 1 month.
Yeah.
I can't really remember because I think it was after the shots were done.
Yes.
Administered to him.
Yes.
And then,
so we went from, I'm gonna say it, 2%, which is pretty bad, 2% to 20, which
that's a big jump.
That was amazing. And so, and you saw a 180 in his personality. He got his strength back. He's growing again well. I know right before his shots, we also noticed that he was starting to lose a little bit of his writing reflex, like he was weak.
Really? I didn't know that part. Wow, that's new.
I think I tried to quiet that.
Yes, because we were a little scared of what was going on with Jafar, because Jafar was at the... He was bad.
But he took a 180 and jumped up to 20. We did a month longer of just tube feeding him just to get all the nutrition in, and a month of tube feeding and a month of being off the antibiotics. We wanted to test one more time to make sure he was holding and not going to relapse on us.
Yeah.
Oh, he went up to 24.
Nice.
He just is continuing to sail up.
He's not stopping.
No.
So I mean, so his blood will continue to go up more.
Yeah, or it might stabilize out here, because 24 is actually really good. Okay. It can go up into the higher 20s or low 30s, but I'm really happy with 24.
Is there anything higher, like too high for a snake?
So it can go too high, though I'm not worried about that with him at this point. Either he's going to stay at this solid level, which I'm happy with, or if he wants to go up a little bit, that's fine. Yeah. Even if he kind of fluctuates in season down maybe to 20 again, who the heck cares? As long as it doesn't go below 20 again.
So for people that don't know, I don't know too much about that. So the blood, is that like, is it because it's helping him to grow, or is it just helping him as developing? Yeah. Or is that just if the weather changes? I mean, what does that stand for, a person that's going through this kind of situation with their animals? So
let me know if I don't answer this right. But basically, so I think the anemia, where we got that really low blood cell count, is I think what we were concluding, because probably in our last video, we checked his liver, we checked his kidneys, everything was coming back normal, but he was continuing to drop these blood cells. So what our theory is right now, that obviously in every huge clutch of eggs in any species, you always get these poor doers that just are failure to thrive. Yeah. And I do think that just his little bit of failure to thrive Even though we were supporting like heck, they often get secondary minor infections. And even though we tried to prevent that as much as we could, probiotics, tube feeding, doing full prey, back to probiotics, things like that, I think it naturally just kind of got an infection. When we have chronic infection, you get this anemia secondary to that. And I think that's actually where his anemia was coming from. Because just by treating for this suspected infection, it popped back up. And so with it popping back up and responding, we know it wasn't bone marrow related, so we don't have like a leukemia or something.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that would have been made more worse.
Yeah, and I do think it's also evidence that our kidney and liver are doing pretty good. So it's good that he responded. So I think we're summarizing it as just he had the anemia of chronic disease. And then just with the mild fluctuations of PCV over seasons, we know that all reptiles just through the seasons, the cold weather, the breeding seasons, the off seasons doing nothing, we know that there are just natural fluctuations in the season. We knew that definitely wasn't happening because it doesn't get down to 2%. But we do know that natural fluctuations can happen. So even if he drops to 22%, maybe in next month, I won't be that worried unless we keep lowering. But I do expect him to probably keep going up, though. I'm real happy with 24.
Because the thing is about Jafar, when I first brought him over a year ago now, he was more on the defense mode of biting at the other workers that were trying to feed him, you know. Then he doesn't do that as much no more, does he?
No, he's actually he's become a really good handleable anaconda, for a lack of a better word. Like he just really, I think he understands we're helping him, and I'm impressed even when I watch you handle him. He's not very defensive anymore.
No,
he's not very aggressive.
I never dealt with him being defensive, even when I would get him out of his enclosure.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of what kind of concerned me about him, because he was just so nice.
Right.
Like even when it came to food, he would just like kind of just pull away from it and not want it.
Right. And is this kind of his flaw in his life, the failure to thrive of just too nice?
And that's the thing. He won't eat. We're still trying to figure that out, but now that we have his blood work up healthy and everything, now it's just really just trying to figure out the next step of, do we take him to nerd now? Because I did speak with the people back in, I think September, I think it was, and we brought that to your attention about bringing him over there.
Yeah.
And he was too at high risk to make it over there. We'll put him in shock. I'm still thinking that we send him over there if we can't get him to eat. I was thinking probably around the springtime, because the weather will be a little bit more better. So it won't be as much as a big change. I know in New England area, it's a little bit, it snows, and that's gonna, don't want to put his body in too much shock of that flying.
That is actually a really good thought that you have, and I think we do that, and I think we just keep maybe tube feeding him until then.
Yeah, because he's not taking regular food, right?
No, so at one point we were just assist feeding him with the food, but he wouldn't take it willingly, and he definitely, if we gave him an inch, he would definitely reject it. So now I guess we might just go back to tube feeding and having not negative associations with feeding, at least at this point, associating mice with going down our throat. So maybe if we kind of just take a step back, I continue to give him really high nutrition, and maybe we do some break periods in between so he gets that hunger feeling again, and then you whip out those mice or the what did you do, quail?
I did quail, I did chicks, I did everything. Now I know the chicks were not in that season. I believe it's around springtime they started getting live chicks and everything else.
You tried some fish at one point.
I tried sardines. They said rub the mouse with sardines and see if it'll trick him into thinking of eating it. He just won't eat it. He is so rejected to food still. And I don't know why he's that way. You know, we were really trying to come up with the reason. Is he just a poor doer, or is he just ill still? Right. But it seems like now that we got his health back up, it seems like he's just really a poor doer. Right. And then just doesn't feel like he needs to eat for some reason. Yeah.
now we just have to train his brain somehow. Hopefully we can.
Yeah, if not, then McCurley, I hope that McCurley will be ready to try to assist that area, because I know that Brian got one of them, I think it was his male snake from Nerd and everything. And that is definitely, the bloodline comes from over there too. So.
And McCurley seemed pretty interested in helping us along with this.
Yeah.
You've put a lot of investment into this snake and passion. It's been amazing to see and watch from my end. So
yeah, the thing was for me, on this was that if he was showing signs that he did not want to live, what I mean by he is Jafar. Jafar did not want to stay alive, then I would have let it, okay, he's getting tired, he wants to let it go, wants to give up. But we never saw that. So I'm like, why end his life if he's going to try to thrive and try to get better?
Right.
Because obviously he wants to fight for it, for a living. So. And
I know in the previous video we talked about like when I go at the beginning going through different enclosures, but one of the things that I saw is one of your really beautiful enclosures, the huge water bowl, water area for him in the land. I mean, even when he was not doing great and sick, he was still up and moving and swimming. It was amazing to see. He definitely has a fight in him. Yeah,
he's not like, I mean, when we said that, he was down and he just felt so weak, he didn't have much strength. I was like, I never really noticed it, and he never tried to attack me or bite me or anything. He just knew that I was taking him to the vet, and that's when he would get defensive.
And then he hated us.
Yeah, he never attacked me.
Yeah, but I do think he is getting used to us more and what we're doing. He doesn't, he's less of a defensive striker or a scared striker now, which is great. He barely strikes at us now. The stuff like the little bit of the severe weakness and the delayed righting reflex, those are just all vet checks. So I guess I'm glad that you didn't notice that, because then he's not being obvious on the outside past my doors. But yeah, I think he's getting used to everything, which I'm really happy about, which is great. And he still wants to fight. Let's just see if we can get him there.
Yes, I think that we can. I think it'll probably take a little bit more time with him just to get him into that motion of feeding. And if we have to do McCurley to get him to do it, because they I know that you also talked to their doctor, their vet that they go through.
So we coordinated with them.
We forgot to even say that in the update, because we were at the moment of just, what do we do now?
Right.
What do we do? And so New England, I think it's not Patreon. What is the name of his place, his company? I can't think of McCurley's business.
Just Nerd?
Nerd Reptiles, yes. That's it, New England Reptiles.
Yeah.
He was, sorry about that. He was, their team, we reached out to them and they said to call their vet. And then their vet got in contact with Dr. Paulette, because I gave them your guys' information. And doctors were able to talk together and everything. Yeah. And they told us some things that I'll let you share.
Yeah. So basically, I went over the plan with them of just kind of what we were thinking, what I had, what our concerns were, and we discussed we did not get into it, but we discussed like every single viral test that we can test for the snake if we needed to come to that. But basically I just kind of passed over our plan, passed what we did, and they were so helpful. They didn't really add too much. Like we got the case down pretty well, but it was really nice to be able to get them updated on the case, where we're at with Jafar. Even if they had any resources, we were scrambling to hopefully not do a blood transfusion.
There'll be a lot
right, but we were even scrambling to see if they had the resources for it, if we couldn't find a snake here. So they were just really supportive of just hearing about his case, agreeing with everything that we did. Luckily they didn't need to tweak anything, but it's really nice to have that collaborative vet effort to make sure we're covering all angles, and we didn't forget anything. So it was just really nice to have that support in the background, and knowing that McCurley also has that support if Jafar goes there. They already know about this case, and they have good communication with us. So
yeah, and I think the other thing was that they also said to us was to up the doses of his shots.
Oh yeah.
They also said to up dose.
Yeah.
His shots that he was taking.
Yeah.
So we started giving Jafar. I had to give Jafar these shots.
Yeah.
And that was one of the hardest things ever.
But you did really good.
I kept on having the needle pop out and shoot out. I was like, dang, I'm not a professional. I mean.
But you did really good.
I know, I got bit one time. I was like, ooh.
Oh, you?
Yeah, Jafar got me when I took him out of his enclosure, and he knew it was shot time.
Yeah. No, you did really good. A lot of people can't do those shots by themselves.
Yeah, it's not easy.
You
It's
did
not
good.
easy. It's not an easy thing. And so now the thing is, where we're at now with Jafar is just trying to get him to eat and to be a normal animal. You know, just normal, period.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
people, if a person doesn't eat, there's something wrong.
Right.
And snakes, they can go longer without eating, but if they're not eating at all, because we went from July all the way until I brought him to you guys, he was not eating. So that was around almost November.
Yeah, so what, 6 months he went
Yeah, he went
there?
without eating. You know, snakes can go a long time, and that was my worries, that he was just not trying to eat.
Right.
And was getting sick.
And then I think going way back to the beginning, we knew that, something wasn't right with his body too, when all of a sudden he started losing weight on us. And I think that also sparked us, like, something's not right.
Yeah.
Something is failing on us now, past who he was before.
Yeah.
So.
And I know the last thing was the blood, that we also said that this is the last thing that we can do. You know, when we up that dosage, we did. Yeah. The last thing they told me was, if he doesn't take this, it doesn't help him, that's it. He's just at the end of the road.
Yeah.
There's nothing else we can do. We gave him all the medicine, and luckily the medicine helped him a lot. You know, he shot up real quickly, and that blood was pure.
That was amazing.
So yeah. So I don't think there's anything else that I could think of that we have, just besides he's still on the same thing.
Yeah.
Just being given. Is it gonna be just assist fed, or?
I think I'm gonna stick with tube feeding, so then you can start reintroducing whole prey items. Okay. Maybe we do every other week tube feeding, so he gets that hunger back a little bit. And so hopefully once he starts feeling that hunger and interpreting that hunger, he can also associate eventually, hopefully, that prey item with filling his belly. So at this point, I think I'm gonna stick with tube feeding and you just offer on the side. But that plan might change too.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think last year was the hardest time for Jafar, but I think we're at the end of that dark tunnel. I think we're about to come into some nice light.
Yeah.
Where Jafar is gonna start eating. Hopefully this year will be the year that he starts eating, and he'll come every 6 months, I think it is, or once a year.
Yeah.
Get a checkup, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely been a long run.
Yeah. It's been so much fun. It's been amazing to see this process through, and you've been doing great. So
thank you so much for what you guys have done. Because at the end of the day, I don't know too much. I never dealt with this with any of my other reptiles, my other snakes. I've never dealt with this.
And this is truly life teamwork.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. You make new friends when it comes to your animals, your pets, and everything.
Yeah.
So, you guys, that's it for this update. It's a good update. We were concerned about everything with him in the last video. So, you guys, like and subscribe, leave a comment, and don't forget, you can always come to this place, Evergreen Exotic.
Yeah.
They will take good care of your animals. I bring all my reptiles here. I don't have nothing bad to say. They keep it 100 with you.
Heck yeah.
And they work with you. So you guys, follow, leave a comment, and if you ever need to reach out to Dr. Paulette, you come here.
Heck yeah.
If you're in the Northwest. All right, you guys.
All right.
See you guys in the next one.
Like and
Peace.
subscribe.
Yes.